What's up, y'all? We're back at it again with another video. First of all, before we get into today's topic, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. Help a brother out. There's a lot of people out there that got a bunch of clout that you are already supporting. Might as well add one more to the list and make it me, okay? There's a lot of people out there who already got money. Help a brother out and help me some money, okay? So, get that out the way. You already know what time it is. Time for another episode. Today's topic, we're going to talk about the infamous lists that have been going out. I don't know if you've been looking around, what's going on the internet, but there's two lists that have come out. One is a list of places women refuse to go on a first date, and a counter list has come out from the man's side of women that you should not take on a first date. Now, I'm going to go through the list. I'm going to go through the woman's list first, then I'm going to go through the man's list first. I'm from the South, ladies first. I'm going to go through the list real quick, rattle off some things, and then we're just going to talk about it. Sound good? Cool. All right, so these are the places that women refuse to go on the first date. Cheesecake Factory. Now, you know where that came from. If you saw the viral video, the lady who got taken to the Cheesecake Factory, she didn't want to go. She refused to get out of the car, and the guy ends up just taking her home. There's a lot more to that, but you don't have to go find the video. You'll see. There's a lot more to that. But so Cheesecake Factory is one. Applebee's, Chili's, basically any chain restaurant, basically is what is going on. Chipotle, Olive Garden, the movies. Now, the movies I kind of mess with because, yes, that's a great idea. You go to see, you guys want to go see a movie together, but that's not good for a first date. That's like date 3. Date 4, something like that. You know what I mean? When you guys have gotten to know each other. The movies, you can't really get to know each other. You can't really talk and things of that nature, right? Unless you're just one of those, a-holes in the movie theater that don't care about anybody else's piece. Yeah, you don't want to be that person. So I totally get that. That's not a good thing. Your house, that's on the list. Totally understand, right? You can't just invite a girl to your house on the first date. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea in your head, right? Because especially if you're a guy who, maybe wants to cook for her and things of that nature, but like, she don't know you, fool. You know what I mean? Like, she don't know you. You could be a murderer. That's pretty much what's on women's mind like 90% of the time. Am I going to get murdered? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I get that. You know what I mean? Like, that only work. You can invite a woman to your house. Like, if you've known each other for years and, you guys have been acquainted or you are friends, because I don't believe men and women could be real friends. But like, if you guys have known each other for a long time, like through family, friends, and hung out, and like, she's been to your house alone before you guys decided to date. Okay. Caveat. You know what I mean? That's the only time. Any fast food. Look, I know they say that if a girl really likes you, she'll go anywhere with you, but like, if you're gonna take her out, don't take her to fast food. I get that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good for either one of you. Nobody should be eating fast food anyway, so let's just get that out the way. Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster, any buffet. Look, it's, again, fellas, I know that sounds good. Like, oh, you can get anything you want. And she don't have to, because I know when you ask the girl what she likes to eat, I don't know. That's usually what comes out, right? It's like, I don't know, or you decide, or something like that. Buffet sounds like something that you both can enjoy, and she can pick whatever she wants, and you have a good time. It sounds great. Honestly, I think it goes 50-50. I think if a girl is down to go to the buffet, and you're down to go to the buffet, then go. But if you're not, is what it is. Denny's, the gym. See, I don't know. The gym is hard because it's like, the gym is, if you're both are workout people, if you're both are fitness people, the gym is the perfect place. Now, it's not the perfect place if you guys go to the same gym already, because that kind of takes out some of the romance of it. You know what I mean? So if you're going to choose the gym, maybe try a new gym together. Go to a new place and try to, a new gym, a neutral setting, something that you're not familiar with. Because if you met the girl at the gym, you can't take her to the date at the same gym y'all go to. Y'all just gonna end up being friends more than likely. But I think the gym is a good date because you get to see, how each other work. You get to talk, sweat out together. That's pretty good way to get to know somebody. Church. Yeah, that's probably not good either. Because even if you're both religious, you know what I mean? It's like, this, it's good to talk, religion and politics are things that you're not supposed to talk about on first dates anyway. So, maybe taking a girl to church, especially if it's like your church, because you basically taking her to meet all your friends and family, or and vice versa. If you go to her church, you meet all her friends and family. Like, that's way too soon. That's a first date. No. Okay. Starbucks is basic. If you're gonna go to, and it says no coffee dates is the next one. So I don't agree with that. I think a date, if you guys don't really drink or anything like that, like, why should a meal be shared between you? It's the first date. You're just trying to get to know each other to see if you want to. Now, granted, I understand the issue here, because the idea is that, especially nowadays, we mostly meet people on dating apps. So the idea is that you've talked to each other enough to get comfortable enough to want to spend money on this girl, but like, at the same token, you just don't know. You know what I mean? Now, coffee dates to me are cute. The next one is ice cream dates. I think most women find that cute. I don't really know too many women who would be upset with that. If you are one of those women that like don't do coffee dates or don't do ice cream dates, it's probably because you probably gave it up to somebody who just got you ice cream and you felt like shit about it because they probably didn't call you next day. Sorry that happened to you, but it is what it is. Coffee dates and ice cream dates are cute. Sorry that the person who did it to you did it to you. Family function. Like family function. Why would you take a girl on a first date to a family function? That's way too much pressure. You want her meeting your mom and dad or your cousins and your aunties and stuff like that on a first date? That's insane. Or even if it's like a friend function, like don't even go to like a friend's party. Like, no, that's not a first date. You'll be like, oh, let's hang out. My friend's having a birthday. You should come with me. Like, no, that's unless you've known each other for years, like you've been acquainted, that don't work. It don't work. Netflix and chill. Come on, fam. That's pretty obvious. Like I'm with that. Like that's not a ridiculous. Anywhere that's a long drive. Now, I'm with this, and I also understand the other side, right? So the long drive thing, like if she has to drive a long way to get to where you're going, and you both have to, yeah, like y'all shouldn't be driving someplace that's 30 miles away. Now, if you went to go pick her up and you're driving 30 miles away, that's still like, it's a safety thing. So it's a first date. Don't go all out. Don't be like, if you live in LA, like, hey, let's drive up, let's drive up to Long Beach, from Hollywood. Let's drive up to freaking Malibu. You know what I mean? Like it's too far. Like you're trying to set some romantic stuff up, but maybe say that for like the third or the fourth date, or like when you're actually in a relationship and you've gotten out of the dating, talking phase. You feel me? Bowling. I don't understand what's wrong with that. If you don't like to bowl, cool. If you suck at it, I get it. But like, to me, bowling or like pool, something like that, you get like, it's intimate enough. You can talk, you have a conversation, you have a couple of drinks. If you drink, you can, order some little appetizers. Like that's what a first date should be. It should be a couple of drinks, maybe some appetizers. That way nobody feels pressure. Nobody, feels like they lost anything. If the date doesn't go well, you had an appetizer, you had a couple drinks, got to know each other, bang. Anyway, nightclub, duh. Come on, fam. Who's trying, like, you gonna take a girl, like, what are we, 20 years old? Get out of here. Hookah bar. Hookah bar's hard to me because it's a dark, intimate setting. You can get to know each other. You can have, a private booth where you guys can have a chat, stuff like that. I don't think that that's a good first date spot personally, but it could be like a first date spot starter. Do you know what I mean? Like, or ender. You know what I mean? Like if you guys had a couple of drinks at the bar and then you go to the hookah lounge and like talk a little more, a little adventure, drinks and then a hookah. I think you could work that in. So if you had like a couple of drinks at the bar, y'all had a little, a couple of drinks at the bar, little appetizers, had, about an hour or so there. Then you go to the hookah bar, another hour or so there, and then call it a night. I think that's not too bad. I don't think that's too bad. If the girl's into hookah, I don't think she, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't date a girl who's into hookah because I'm not. So, but it's all preference. It's all preference. Just drinks. So apparently just drinks is not good enough. I don't really know. Like I guess you have to have a meal, but like, again, little appetizer. Why not? Get a plate of fries. Some buffalo wings or maybe not wings, but chicken tenders or something. Something that put a little chicken wings, little carrots and celery type thing. Something like that. Some chicken fingers, mozzarella sticks, something. Something to put a little weight on them. It's no big deal. I'm with that. Waffle House. That kind of goes into like IHOP and all that stuff. Why would you take a girl to IHOP anyway? Like that's crazy. Waffle House. Sporting events. Yeah, that's. I think that kind of goes along with the movies, right? Because even if you're both in, especially if you're like, if she's not into sports and she's only going because you asked her out, she's not gonna have a good time. And if you're both into sports, you're not gonna really be able to get to know each other because you're gonna be paying attention to the sport. You're gonna be watching the sport. You know what I mean? So it's not. If you're both really into whatever you're watching, it's just not gonna work. All right. So those are the lists. And now here we're going to talk about it. So that's the whole list. Some of these are very reasonable. I'm totally with it. Some of these are just ridiculous. But here's the thing. With this list, basically what women have said is like, what you said is you kind of shot yourself in the foot. Because now most dudes are thinking like, this is how most women think. So they're not going to know where to take you unless they try to spend, $200+ on a date. And most dudes ain't got it like that. Like, I'm sorry, ladies. I know that, y'all don't understand the economy the way that we do because things are 9 times out of 10 just given to you because you're pretty. I know. That doesn't happen for us. I know it's crazy, but that doesn't happen for us. So, like, this kind of thing, yeah, so, like, dating and stuff like that is part of our budget. And that's, we should, we can't really date if we don't have that kind of budget. But, like, to spend $200, $300, $400, dollars on a date, it's just ridiculous. I know it doesn't sound like that to you guys because you're thinking, well, I had to get this done, I had to get that done, and I had to take all this time. It's like, yeah, but so did we. We planned a date. We're, what I'm saying? Like, both of our times are valuable. Like, your time is not more valuable because you went and got extensions put in your hair. We don't ask for that. Let me tell you something, ladies. All the shit that you do for first dates, we don't even care about. I'm gonna put that out there right now. Half the makeup you wear, don't care. All you need is a little bit of lipstick, maybe some foundation, brush your hair, put on a dress. That's it. Throw on some heels to let us know that you actually care about the date. And if you're not a heels girl, just try to look as feminine as possible in whatever you wear. If you're wearing jeans and some, sneakers, just try to look as feminine as possible. That's all we care about. We don't need you to go get extensions. You don't need to go get your eyelashes done. You don't need to come in like, beauty style makeup. We don't care about that. The closer you are to your natural beauty, that's what we care about. Period. So trying to calculate all the things that you had to do and everything, like just look, shower, brush your hair, put on some lipstick. Cool. You're straight. We don't need eyeshadow. We don't need anything else. The closer you are to your natural beauty, the more attractive you are to us. That's just facts. All right. So here's the thing too. Essentially what you're saying with this list is I don't date average men, which is great. Fine. If that's your preference, you want to date, these what is perceived as high value men who make 6 figures and all that other stuff, great. But here's the problem with that. You're shooting yourself in the foot because if you put out this list and guys are thinking, well, I don't have a chance. Well, the only guys that do have a chance are these guys who can drop, $300, $400+ on a date and they, won't even break a sweat. Here's the problem with that. Are you capable of keeping that kind of man? And I'm not saying that you guys aren't good enough, but what I'm saying is this. If every girl is trying to go after them, why would they choose you? Do you see what I mean? If I'm a guy and I have 6 women after me, why would I choose one? So that means you would have to be so rare in beauty, rare in attitude, rare in upbringing, rare in behavior. Like you would have to be the diamond of diamonds. And I know everybody's saying every girl's special. No, you're not that special. Sorry. That's why, just like every dude ain't that special. That's why every dude ain't a fucking millionaire. That's why every dude ain't a 6-figure earner. That's why they call it the 1%. Because if it wasn't the 1%, it'd be just people. They wouldn't have to put a name on to call it the 1%. You see what I'm saying? or it wouldn't be the top 10% of guys. That's why it's rarity in the world. So if every girl is going after just the 10% of dudes in the 1%, then I have all the options, which means that I'm not gonna treat you the best because if you go away, I got somebody to come in and replace you because everybody's coming for me. So you're shooting yourself in the foot with this one. So like maybe lower the standards a little bit, because unless you're this exceptional woman, I know you like to think that, but really sit down and think about it. Unless you're really this exceptional woman, like basically you have to be the Virgin Mary and a porn star into one, which is impossible to do, right? That's how rare you would have to be to get one of these guys to commit to you and only be with you. If not, guess what? You're sharing. You are going to be sharing. Congratulations, you played yourself, because you're going to be sharing. Because guess what? If every girl is going after all these dudes that got all this money, well, then guess what? You're going to have to compete with several other women to get your spot and to earn the number one spot. And that doesn't mean he's still going to be faithful to just you, because you gave a guy options for long enough. He probably ain't going to settle down with just one person. And if he does, he might marry you and still have other women on the side. So is that the life you want to look for? So again, maybe lower the standards. Call me crazy. All right, now let's get into the guys list. Now the guys list is a little bit ridiculous too. This is the list of women that you shouldn't take on the first date. That's what it's kind of to counteract the list of places that women refuse to go. Now, again, we're gonna talk about it. Some of these are ridiculous, but it is what it is. Now, number one, single moms. Now, look, I totally get that, because here's the thing, ladies. Yeah, you get I'm gonna give you the perspective of it from both sides. Now, the single ladies, single moms. If you're a man who's single and you don't have any kids, do you understand that at some point, if I date a single mom, that I'm gonna be responsible for those kids? You say that he doesn't need to, even if the other father is in the life, it's still gonna be, you know what I mean? Like if we end up living together, those are mouths that I have to feed, right? So that's already a responsibility. Two, if the baby daddy is still in the life, I have to deal with him because he's gonna be there, and who knows what kind of person that he is. So that's another situation to deal with, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, if we part and I get close to the kids, now I lost twice. I lose you and the kids that I grown to love. So it's a lot more heavyweight on the man who's single. Now, if you're a guy who has kids as well, that's another thing too, right? That's more mouths to feed. So if she got kids and I got kids, now there's more mouths to feed. Now, listen, I'm not saying that single moms don't deserve love. I'm just saying that if you want to start a family, have your own family, you don't want to help garden the seeds of somebody else. It is what it is. That's just a preference. You know what I mean? You can't really get mad at that. Women with a lot of tattoos. Okay. That's neither here nor there. I got tattoos, so I can't really say that. You know what I mean? Like, women with a lot of tattoos, listen, it depends on what you call a lot. Some people think one tattoo is a lot. Some people think, a full sleeve is what it consists of, a lot of tattoos. The thing about it is, like, it's all preference. Unfortunately, a lot of tattoos have been linked to being a lot of self-harm kind of things that people have going on, a lot of mental issues, and also promiscuity. So I kind of get where dudes come from if she has a lot of tattoos. I'm just saying, like, if you look at most porn stars, they got a lot of tattoos. So they kind of, or strippers or any kind of sex work, they usually have a lot of tattoos. So do with that what you may. I'm not saying that all women with a lot of tattoos are that, but again, if you wear the uniform of a cop, I'm probably gonna assume you're a cop. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Any kind of sex worker. Look, I'm not saying they don't deserve love. I'm not saying anything like that. Everybody deserves some kind of love in their life. However, your choices kind of dictate what you get. right? So if you're gonna be any kind of, a corn star, OF girl, anything of that nature, stripper, escort, things of that nature. Look, it is what it is. It's gonna be hard for you to find a man that's gonna be okay with that lifestyle. And even if, like, you say you did it for a while and then you quit, stuff like that, that's still gonna be hard for a lot of men to come to terms with. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's a past that he has to live with, especially if it's something that can be seen on the internet. You know, men don't really like their women out there like that. We just don't. You know what I mean? And it's kind of embarrassing. Especially when we're trying to bring you home to our family, they could find out things of that nature. It's just, and there's a lot of other things that come with. It's not even just the embarrassment things. There's a lot of mental things that come with that. Like, especially if you're somebody that's been highly promiscuous, it makes it hard for you to settle down. Makes it hard for you to be faithful. Things of that nature. Like, there's a lot of things that come with it. So that's reasonable. I can't really. Women who dress provocatively. Again, here's the thing. You may not be a hoe, okay? But if you wear the uniform, how can I, you know what I mean? Like, again, if you wear a cop's uniform and I ask you to come help me with a law problem, you're like, hey, I'm not a cop. You'd be like, what? You know what I mean? So here's the thing. If you're also too, like, if you know anything about women, as a man, your most valuable currency as a woman is your beauty and your chastity and the attention that you get. Those are the most valuable things. So if you're wearing things that bring in attention while you're around me, that puts, that puts pressure on me because A, you got guys who are gonna look and you got guys who are gonna touch. And I know that if I'm with you, you're gonna expect me to handle that. So yes, of course, there are creepy guys out there who will do it no matter what you're wearing. Yes, we know, we've heard it all over again, but let's be honest. If you got something that's pushing your cleavage up, right, and showing your midriff and got your cheeks out, which one is more likely to happen? The girl who's wearing full jeans and a turtleneck, or the girl who's wearing a cutoff top and booty shorts? Who's gonna get approached the quickest? Probably the one that looks like she's gonna give it up the easiest. That's just, it is what it is. Some guys don't like that. Some guys are like that and want to show you off and all that stuff, but I wouldn't even date those guys because let me tell you something. Any guy that wants to just show you off like that, that's an insecure dude, and he's probably trouble. That's a red flag to me. Any guy that thinks that he needs to show off your body to show that he made it and got something, that's probably not the dude you want to be with. That's the dude who's basically fetishizing you because he never got women growing up and he probably trying to just show the world that, hey, look, I can get a baddie. And you ain't going to want to be with him too long. All right. Instagram models, Instagram models, bottle girls, escorts. Instagram models, again, kind of goes with the dressing promiscuously. Like, most women out there who call themselves Instagram models, they're just showing ass shots. Basically, it's just booty cheeks. That's really all it is. Half of them aren't really even getting paid, and some of them are, and most of the ones that are getting paid ain't getting that much. You know what I mean? Like, most people aren't making that much off the internet. Contrary to popular belief, even if they got hundreds of thousands of followers, they probably ain't making that much money. And a lot of these people that manage Instagram models are pieces of garbage, and they try to get girls to do things for them and with them to, get ahead. And there are a lot of people out there who are desperate for that money, and they will do that. So, kind of goes with the sex work thing. You know what I mean? So, sorry. Okay. Large social media following. Here's the thing. Again, attention is like one of the most valuable currencies that women get, right? And so if you got a lot of people that's giving you a lot of attention, always simping on you, things of that nature, your ego is gonna get high, things of that. Because look, you can look at old stars, right? Look how, like, when they start to fade, they get a little crazier. Like, look at Madonna. Her star was starting to fade. Now she's out here dating a bunch of younger dudes. She's getting BBLs, all this plastic surgery, trying to stay relevant. You see what I'm saying? Like, it kind of, there's the thing that comes with that fame, right? No one person. This is not just women. This is men too. Like, nobody should be that famous. Like, I don't know if it happens to men, but women, it definitely does something to you guys. Sorry, I'm not trying to just beat up on you, but like, it does. So imagine a girl that has all this following and stuff like that, all these people talking in her ear saying that she's the best and she's hot, things of that nature. Like, it does something to you. Hell, Julius Caesar used to walk around with a slave just telling him, "You're just a man," because people would praise him all day. He had to have that humble him, so he could just remind himself to stay humble. And most, depending on what the woman does for her following, she ain't gonna stay humble. Like, it really all depends on what she does. So I'm gonna add a caveat to that, because like, if she just like cooks on the internet, you know, she ain't getting that kind of praise. Nobody's like, "Oh, she's so gorgeous." I mean, but if it's literally your feet, like if you're famous on Instagram or on the internet because of like what you look like, you know, probably gonna be some things that come with that. But if it's like, oh, you're working with your hands, you know, like the only thing you show is like the meals that you make or something like that, that's different. So 50-50 on that. Colored hair. I got nothing on that. I'm gonna just put it like this: not all women with colored hair are maniacs, but most of the ones I've encountered that got like blue hair, pink hair, purple hair, things like that, you walk the other way. It's like seeing a loose pit bull with no owner, no collar, just walking the streets. You just get to the other side. You don't even want those problems. Is what it is. Women promiscuous friends. Look, single women keep single women. Single women keep women single. Period. Like that. It just happens. It just happens, because here's the thing. When you're going to somebody, if you're a girl in a relationship or you got in a relationship, if you go and you're talking to your best friend about something that your boyfriend did and stuff like that, they're only hearing the bad thing. So as a single woman, they're just gonna be like, "Well, why are you putting up with that? Just be single. I'm happy." That's just pretty much gonna be the only advice. And that's, you know, and also too, like, it's easy to get caught up in that, right? That's why if you're married, you shouldn't be hanging out with single friends, because single friends are gonna go do single people stuff, and that energy is gonna cast off onto you. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be affected by that. You're gonna end up, you know, wanting to do those things or trying to live some life or trying to, you know, think you're missing out, that, you know, fear of missing out, you know, FOMO is going to set in and you might mess up. It just, you know, it is what it is. So if your friends are out there promiscuous like that, you know, they say you're the company you keep, right? If I keep a bunch of dudes around me that are, you know, I may not be a gangster, but if I only hang out with gangster dudes, eventually I'm going to get into some gangster stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm you know, even if it's by accident, even if I'm just in the car when they go in and, you know, and they rob a place, if they get caught and I'm in the car, I'm guilty by association. It doesn't matter if I didn't go in. It doesn't matter if I didn't know that's what they were going to do. The law's going to assume that's what I did. So if you have a bunch of promiscuous friends and y'all go to a trip to Miami and you come back and tell me all the stories about how they hooked up with this dude, hooked up with that dude, hooked up with the other dude, I'm going to assume you probably did too. Or it's going to be hard for me to think that you didn't. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the company you keep. Sorry, it is what it is. I mean, that's with business and anything, right? Like, if they know, if you known to hang out with some people that do some shady business deals, and you trying to talk to a new person and they find out who you are or who you hang with, they probably ain't gonna want to do business with you because you hang around shady business people. They're just gonna assume that you probably one of them. That's just life. It is what it is. That's just part of being an adult. You gotta take that on the chin, ladies. I'm sorry. Women who travel alone regularly. Look, I personally don't like when women travel alone regularly just because of the safety thing. So that's just on me. But yeah, look, regularly depends on what you call regularly. Like, if it's like once a year, she goes somewhere, she saves enough money to go somewhere. Hey, that's just somebody who got their shit together. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't messing with that. But if you like, and you ain't no kind of, you know, entertainer or something like that, there's no reason for you to travel. But if you like going on a trip like every 2-3 months, 4 months, you know what I'm saying, every quarter of the year, yeah, we just gonna assume that somebody paying for that. Especially if you got pictures of you like always on somebody's boat, you know, something like that, or at some high class dinners and things of that nature. Like, you know, if you a waitress, but somehow you in Cancun every other weekend at a nice place, you know what I'm saying? Or you in Dubai every few months, but you work at Applebee's. Who paying for that? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just all image. I'm not saying that necessarily means that she out there. Like I said, if it's like a once a year she goes somewhere, that's not regularly to me. Like, I guess it's regular in the sense of like she does it every year, but like, you know, you can say if it's once a year, you're saving up money. I get that. You know what I'm saying? That's totally understandable. But if it's like I said, every 3 months, you somewhere new, eating somewhere really expensive on some resort somewhere, you already know what time it is. Drink a lot. You already know what it is. You got somebody that drinks all the time, like they can't stop drinking, that's probably a problem. That's a problem for both sides, man or a woman. So, you know. Also, too, you probably would get to know somebody before you take them out on a date and know that they drink a lot. You know what I mean? Like, they probably tell you stories and things of that nature in the talking phase before you even get to the date. This is why the talking phase is important, even though we don't want to do it because we're sick of it. But you have to do it because this is where it comes in. Because if you're talking to a girl and all her stories consist of, well, this one time I got drunk and this other time I got drunk, or one time me and my girl, you already know what it is. Sorry. That's for anybody. If all your stories consist of you drinking all the time, you don't need to be in a relationship. You're not going to go get that figured out. Women without fathers. Look, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Because I understand where you're coming from as a dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, usually women, or, you know, men as well, too, usually people who don't have a good, strong, positive male figure in their life end up in a bad way, right? Or they don't view authority in the way that's positive. And a lot of times with women, when they don't have a positive father figure, they end up, you know, in some pretty compromising situations in life and make some compromising decisions that really affect them. That's not always the case, right? There's some women who grow up and still have a positive outlook on men and treat them with respect and things of that nature, even if they didn't have a father. Some, but 9 times out of 10, they don't. That's just what it is. I'm just saying, sorry. It's a hard, you know, it's not your fault that your father left or wasn't around or wasn't a good father. That's not your problem. But it is something that you're going to have to probably work a little harder to show that you aren't one of the other ones that grew up without one. Party every weekend. That goes with the same thing with drinking. Like, if you got to be at the club every weekend to have fun, like that's the only thing you view as fun, come on, fam. It is what it is. Like, you ain't ready for a relationship anyway, so why you mad? You know what I mean? Previously married, well, obviously, if she's married, don't date her. If she trying to mess with you and she just got married, or, you know, that's crazy. Plus size unhealthy. It is what it is. Some men like big girls, some men don't. It is what it is. And plus size is, to me, 50 pounds over the weight that you should be. So if you're, I don't know, like 5'2" and you are 160 pounds, you're overweight. That's how I look at it, right? It could, but here's the thing, it could look good, right? You could be plump in the right areas, and some men are into that. Personally, I like to look at it, but when it comes to the long term, I wouldn't be into it. But that's all just preference. Like, some dudes like their girls bigger. It is what it is. So just find somebody that's bigger. If you like bigger girls, just find somebody that's smaller if you like. But just make sure, if that's what you like, you got to fit the profile. So you can't be like, just like when women say, oh, I want a man that makes a lot of money, that's got his stuff together, but they live in a house full of roaches and sleep on the floor. You can't, you know what I mean? So you can't be a fat dude that's 300 plus pounds at like 5'6", talk about, oh, I like my girls petite. Stop it. Women on dating apps. Again, to me, this is a hard one because that's kind of how people date now. Like, you either find each other on a dating app or you don't, right? That's kind of how people date now, so that's kind of hard. But also, if you look at dating apps are different for men and women. Like, women have just options on options on options on options on options. Like, and here's the thing, when you got that many options, it's hard for you to choose just one, because you're getting attention from this guy, and you're getting attention from that guy, and you're getting attention from another guy. You can't just pick one, and that makes it hard for you, because now this guy has to be exceptionally rare, right? And then even then, it may not work out. So then you start the process all over again, and it just does something to you. It's just different. So it's like Just like watching Netflix or Disney Plus and having all the streaming sites, right? Like sometimes you want to sit down and watch something and you can't pick anything because you just have so much to choose from. Divorced. It depends. Depends on the divorce. Like, to me, if the dude was mentally, physically, emotionally abusive and that's why she left, hey, yeah, that's right. But if it was just like some things of, she didn't feel appreciated sometimes and like there's like no communicate, like, it really depends on why they parted ways. But like, real talk, anybody in a relationship, unless the person is physically hurting you, emotionally hurting you, or mentally abusing you all the time, work that ish out, okay? It's not that. Just work it out, because you don't want to be single in these streets, because this is what you're going to deal with, these lists. That's what you're going to be dealing with, is these damn lists. So unless you want to be dealing with lists, being single, stay in that shit, because it ain't the grass ain't greener. And that's kind of the problem that we have in this day and age of dating. Everybody thinks the grass is greener. Let me tell you something. If you find somebody that makes you feel good and they ain't, eroding your spirit and that eroding you as a person, stay. Because the grass is not greener. All right, guys. Well, this was hell long. Sorry. I had a lot to go through, but it is what it is. It's been a long one today. We'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know in the comments if you've read these lists and how you feel about them. All right.